Hi gamers, moms and dads, welcome to Cridler Gaming, and today we are doing the Save the World top 10 tips. Now going through them, it's turned out to be 5 do's and 5 don'ts. Now we've been playing this game for about 3 months, so we're just going to pass on a bit of knowledge that we found that hopefully you'll find it useful. So if you're a new player, watch the next 10 minutes and hopefully we can improve your game. Now the first thing, and if mom and dad's still on, it's definitely worth watching, is trading. Now in Save the World you collect stuff, you go through the game, but people, they want to take a fast forward and they want to get stuff for nothing a lot of the time. So you will see on the chat, although I've covered it up with the logo because it can have some interesting words written in it, that people want to trade. It says trade, 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 so and so is a scammer, and that's all you'll see going through it constantly. So our number one tip is do not trade. If you're going to trade, there's a good chance you're going to get scammed by somebody. Now, only ever drop anything that you do not mind losing. So if you've got a great gun, do not go trading for it, and do not go on level saying look at my gun, it's amazing, because there's a good chance someone's going to pick it up and leave, and then you'll be without your gun. I've seen it happen over in this house. So do not drop anything you can't afford to lose. And our general advice is do not trade. You don't need to. If you play the game properly, then trading isn't needed. And I really hope if Epic is ever watching, they turn off the drop button, or at least do it so that after a completed mission you get 30 seconds to drop and swap with friends. So if you're a new player, people just drop weapons for you anyway. A really overpowered player doesn't mind losing a level 20, 30 weapon. If I'm on a lower level and someone's doing really well, I'll just drop them a weapon and I say good luck. So you don't even have to nag for guns, which can be quite annoying. And so if anyone asks me for a gun, I just tend to drop them a level 1 AR, and that's, they've asked for a gun, so they've got one. But say trading, I'd stay away from it. So that's our first tip, and I would say it was the most important tip of the whole game. Now the second thing that we found useful to pass on is your cards. Now within your cards you get about 300 or so, depending on your level of cards. So when you get low level cards, it's just manage them well. So I don't delete a card that is above epic or above. If it's lower than that, then I delete them, because then you get experience. So our second tip is card management. A lot of people just go through deleting all the cards for the XP, but there's no harm in keeping some. If you get 2 cards identical, then yes, delete one or pop one in the collection book, which brings us on to don't number 3 really, which is the collection book. Now if you're new to this and you start whacking cards in here and you don't realise, when a card is in the collection book you cannot use it anymore. So as it stands, if you put your best guns in here to get this leveled up, you will not be able to use the guns in the game. So my advice is only use the collection book if you've got 2 cards identical. I put a load of guns in here in early days and then realised, whoops, I can't actually use them. Fortunately, I didn't put all my best guns in, but the collection book doesn't give you the greatest rewards. If I click X, you can see the rewards that are coming. You get the odd llama here or there, you get the odd eye in the storm, but it's not amazing. If you Google rewards, it's worth doing, because there is a level, I can't remember which one it is, but quite low down, it does give you 500 V-Bucks, so it's worth getting to that one there, and probably not doing it anymore. But I say be careful. If you put cards in the collection books, they do disappear from your main inventory. Now our fourth don't is going to sound a bit daft, but don't upgrade your cards too early. So we have here 4 level 4 cards. You can see the stars just underneath them, and then everything else we have is level 3. Now you'll find that the harder materials are, funny enough, harder to find. You can see that this shotgun needs 11 obsidian to craft. Now if you upgrade this from a malachite to obsidian, and then you realise you've only got 20 obsidian, then you're only going to craft 1 weapon and you need at least 2 more to get another one. So our advice is, before you craft or upgrade a level, make sure you've got the materials needed to craft. I'd say at least 50, maybe even 100 obsidian is needed before you get level 40 weapons. There's no harm in keeping them at level 30 for as long as needed. But also, when you do upgrade from 30 to 31, there's no point crafting at 31. Save up your XP, get it to level 40 and then craft it, because it's the same amount of materials to craft a level 31 gun as it is a level 40 gun. So that's another thing. It sounds daft, but don't upgrade your guns too early. If you've got plenty of materials, then do it as soon as you possibly can, but you'll find obsidian, shadow sword, sunbeam, etc. is hard to find. So Even silver can be quite tricky early on, so only craft or only level up your guns when you've got the materials to craft them. So that's our fourth don't, and our fifth don't really is building. Although this is sort of in the home base, when you do a build, crazy complicated builds can make your life difficult, because what happens is the husks can find a way in, and if they can find a way in and you don't know where they're getting in, then they'll all follow the same path, walk through, get your atlas or whatever you're defending and take it down. So we recommend small, smart builds, and if you look at our other videos you'll see our tiny little pyramid builds that we've done. So don't overbuild, don't do crazy stuff like that. So that's our 5 don'ts. So moving on to our 5 do's. The first do we would say, and it's probably not the most interesting thing you'll ever hear, is farm. Every now and again go onto a level, take an outlander. So if I just pop onto my heroes and show you our outlander here, so she's 4th across here, so recon scout Jess, go onto a level, use an outlander and farm for 20 minutes, get materials. Now outlanders are great because their pickaxes are better and they do more damage, so you can smash things quicker. And also if you have an outlander, and I'd certainly recommend finding one and collecting them, is see that level 5 on the right, keen eyes. An outlander with keen eyes is great for farming. If you're outside a house and you have a keen-eyed outlander, there will be green glowing bricks, and that will show you that there's good stuff in that house. There's also purple, blue, depending on the level that it is. So a keen eyes outlander is great. So go on to a level every now and again, farm, get your metal, get your wood, get your bricks. Now I would suggest, if you are going to farm, go onto the lowest level industrial site that you want. So if you just want common materials, so brick, metal, wood, drop right down to on here, it's level 9 from we're level 70, and go to industrial zone. Now when you're farming, the 3 main things you need as a new player are nuts and bolts. So you get them mainly from cars in the city, or in the industrial zone you've got lots of electrical equipment you smash up. Anything electrical tends to give you nuts and bolts. A nice server could give you 9 nuts and bolts, a car can give you 2, 3 or 4, and also if you're using an outlander there's a good chance you'll get double loot as well. So collect nuts and bolts. The next useful thing for a new player is rotating gizmos. They tend to be found in chests and in boxes within these levels. And the third most useful thing at the beginning is power cells. Now these are what create some of your more complicated weapons. They tend to be in gnomes for some reason, because I guess they're the similar sort of shape. But to say, just if you're farming, you'll pick these things up along the way, along with traps and things that you find in boxes. Coal is another useful one. So you can go through these levels and see what's best for you. But say industrial site's good for those sort of nuts and bolts and things, etc. If you're after things like coal and copper, silver, then go on to the woody levels. There's good mines in there that you can get coal and copper and silver from. So for your ores, use the woody levels. For your guns, etc., use the city or the industrial zone. They're the best place to farm. So go and farm it. It's well worth doing. So our next do is to use your survivors. Now in our survivor squad here, you'll see out of a video is that we jumped from level 63 to level 70 just by changing around our survivors. We put the correct leaders in, then we matched their personalities. I say we've done a 15-minute video which shows you how we jumped from level 63 to level 70. So a do is use your survivors, and also don't delete your survivors. I know that gives you survivor XP, but there's no point in deleting epic and legendary survivors. Only delete the low level survivors, that cards that you get less XP from deleting them. But if you look at our survivors, we've got plenty of them, and the reason for having plenty of them is they've all got different personalities and characteristics which you might find you need to get your bonuses. So keep as many epic cards, or if you're up at legendary or down at rare, keep as many cards as you can. There's no point in deleting them unless you really need the XP. So I do is collect survivors and use them correctly. Check out our video if you need to work out how to use them correctly. Now our third do is that sometimes you might try and play the game and you can't find anyone else to play with you. There's millions of people playing Fortnite, but if you drop on an empty server, because it does split you into lots of little subgroups when you log on, you can change that server. So if you press the 3 lines, or whatever symbol it is in the top right hand corner for you, if you go onto settings, you can see this matchmaking region. If you can't find a player to play with, change the time zone, change the server. So, if it's really early in Europe, there might not be anyone up, pop onto North America and we're set 8 hours behind, go on to Australia, the other half of the day. Yeah. But even just changing the server, going out and coming back in, it puts you on a different, in a different party of 100 or so, however many's in it, and that just, it helps mix it up. So if you can't find anyone to play with, then change your server, and there's a good chance that you'll have some players to play with. Our next do is about the quests. So if you go across to the end, 2 things we recommend in the quest is, one, if you're a new player, do the tutorials. You don't see all the quests at the start on the tutorials, because once you've done one, another one comes up. But the game tends to lead you through what you need to do. So if you've got any tutorials outstanding, do them, because you never know, the next one might be just what you need. It might have 5 rotating gizmos or a couple of power cells that you're really struggling to find. So definitely do the tutorials. We can't show you it here because we've done them all, but I say it says tutorial as an event, and just go through it. I mean, the hoverboard's a tutorial that we did. I mean, we came into the game earlier, so the hoverboard came in after us, but it came up as a tutorial. We did it, and now the levels are 10 times quicker. And the other thing to do is the daily quests. Do your dailies. At the moment, you get 50 V-Bucks and 100 daily coins. Now, the daily coins are very worthwhile, because if you go into your loot section and then RT over to event, if you page down on the right-hand side, you will see you can buy great things with 700. I mean, we've got 5,000 at the moment, because the last few that have come up we've not actually needed. We've already got a great ceiling zapper, but you can buy these with doing 7 daily quests will get you a nice legendary card, and the legendary cards are some of the best. So in fact, there's no mythical in these, so grab the legendaries by doing the daily quests. So that's our next do. And our final do really is on levels. So when you start a level, if you are a level 70, so let me just back out and go into Cami Valley. So if you do go on to a level 70, which we are, when you click on it, if the other 3 players are playing are all level 40, then I wouldn't play it, because the good chances are that they're all coming to farm and they're underpowered, and you won't actually complete the quest if that's what you're trying to do. Now let's have a look on here. So we're level 70. As you can see, we've got a 46 on here. I'm not going to do this level anyway at the moment, but make sure you get people of a decent level. And the next tip is that when the level actually loads, as you can see, the launch time in the bottom right hand corner is 2 minutes. Some people just forget what they're doing, and when the 2 minutes runs out, it loads a game for you. So you get the AFK players, away from keyboard players, that they just don't do anything. Now that's bad for 2 reasons. 1, they're not actually playing, so they can't help you, but 2, they're taking up a slot that you could use for a defender. So when the actual level loads, check that everyone else is playing. And the other thing is, you might get 2 players that are on the level that they've just come down to trade. So before spending 1,000 wood metal on building, just make sure that all 4 players, if you're with 4 players, are actually there to play the level with you, or else you'll be wasting a lot of materials, because if you get defeated on the level, you can't get those materials back. And if you've only got 2 or 3 people playing, then do invest in a decent defender, to put a defender down to help you, because they are pretty useful. So that's it. That's our do's and don'ts for Save a World. So I hope you find them useful. I say we've just picked them up over the last few months that we've been playing, and if we find any more, we'll let you know. I will also write out the top 10 in the comments section, because I'm sure we'll have missed something. So to all your players, it's a great game. Enjoy it, and any comments, just pop it down below, and we'll answer every single one that's clean and that we can publish. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you later.